Hello, guys. Nice to see you all here. So what I want to talk today is about using Zoho Analytics in an enterprise market and how you can make use out of that. So in general, everybody knows Zoho Analytics is made for having a business intelligence. And why is this so important? So we often see people using multiple databases, multiple Zoho applications, and they cannot figure out how to combine all those data and how to get nice reports out of it. So first of thing is very important. So you get like KPIs and you can do actions based on that. So you might have seen something like that already if you already explored the Zoho Analytics a little bit. It also helps you to grow your performance and put actions on the performance. It helps you to make the decisions because often we have a feeling. So we feel, hey, I think we have little less sold than last month, but it's just a feeling and numbers are way better to give a proof to make the right decisions. And then, of course, we need to stay aligned with our teams, which is also most important. And sometimes you're working maybe in the sales or you're working in a support, but we don't know what's happening over there. So the reports and the KPIs will help us to understand, hey, they had a peak. So that's why the team couldn't resolve certain things quite easily. So what we want to do is we want to centralize all our data within Zoho Analytics. And why should we use that? Of course, you here at the Zoholics, you have got to know a lot of Zoho apps. And all of them are basically connected to the Zoho Analytics natively, so you can pull the data there. But there is also a very unique point to that and something very important. So sometimes you're not only using your Zoho system, you have a third-party system, which you cannot get rid of because of a certain topic. So it's very important that we also have possibility to connect the third-party system. I will show you a little example when I'm more on the next 2-3 slides. And it's important to have like one unified platform for reporting and dashboarding because, of course, every application, every software gives his own reports, but only the combined data sets give us the real insights. And of course, I think you know that already. There are pre-built templates. If you already use Zoho CRM, there will be a lot of pre-built reports which you can adjust to your needs. So now I want to give you some real world examples. So since I'm working in Germany, most of our customers are using a CRM system from Zoho, but they still have an ERP system because they may a manufacturing company, so they still need to run their operations there. So what was the goal? So first of all, they wanted to have a sales review reporting. They have certain goals based on leads and on visits. So generation of leads and leads visiting. So those are 3 goals in their sales organization. So the organization itself is a full service process overview they wanted to have. They're operating in 57 countries. They are more than 200 years in business. So it's a very old-fashioned German company. And they have more than 340 employees in 3 different locations. Within Germany, but in worldwide it's even more. So what they want to do is they want to have some reporting, and this is actually an example of their reporting. Of course, I'm not showing their data. It's made as test data, but what they wanted to have is a sales review. So the first thing they have is the CRM. They're working with the opportunity model, but they also have like data coming from the ERP system, the invoicing data. And what you can see here is you see the revenue by product. So we are fetching all the products from the ERP system into Zoho Analytics and are building those kind of reports to display their revenues. This is one part of it. And the second part is that it also combines with goals. So they have certain goals and we put in some filters. So based on the user who logs into that dashboard, he would only see his data. So if you're working like in Italy, you would only see the Italian data. If you work in the United States, you only see the United States data. They have visits, so they are forced to visit their customers. It's very important to keep the relationship up. So that's why we also count here visits. So it's not a website visit, it's a physical visit with the customer. And of course, leads generated, deals, turnover. And this is basically made through CRM, the turnover. And down there we have like a goal achievement. So this chart will a little bit explain what is the actual versus the planned. So they overplan in this already. So the plan was like 50 million and they made already 58 million. And we put all those filters atop there. So they can filter on months, on sales manager, a product group. So they even specify by product groups. So they can see which product is performing quite well, which product might be a little too less sold. So maybe they can do some marketing activities based on that or some newsletters. So this is one thing we built in combination with their ERP data. So this is the sales review. There is another chart. It's basically by customers. So for them, it's also very important to know their customers, since they're in a very specific industry. They don't have like thousands of customers. They have like maybe 100. So it's very important to know which one is the first one, how is it compared over the years, and what are my top 10 customers. So this is pretty important for them to also see if somebody maybe goes to a competitor by just looking at the revenue they made within a quarter or a specific time period. Use case 2 is also another customer which is working globally. They have multiple business units, so they split across the world. So they're in Germany, they're in US, they're in LATAM, everywhere in the world basically around. And what they wanted to have is they have really a lot of goals and they want to see that with their achievements. So the data is basically coming again from CRM. The goals are made up every quarter. So they make a plan every quarter what goals they want to have. And they also have a visiting strategy. Since they're selling machineries, they need to go and visit the customers because a machine is not just bought online. A big industry machine needs some more visits and tractions. So what we see here is deals and leads goals per country. So the first column will give you the country. The person in charge is the sales rep. They have a target, and the next one actually shows how much they have been created and achieved, and then it gives a basic percentage. So the first data is coming from the CRM, so how many leads have been created in CRM. Second thing is how many deals they have currently created, and the goals are actually coming from manual entry because they set up a goals table. So what we did is we set up a goals table. The same applies for this report. They have visit goals. So in a country, they need to make this amount of visits. So they need to visit 2 times Algeria or Austria. And days per trip is just duration. So if I go to Austria, I need to stay minimum 5 days and I should visit 20 customers. So, and this will also give a better insight on how their sales team is performing since they're working with external sales reps. Coming back to that slide, we have built basically a template where the sales managers can enter the goals per country. So they can end up and say, hey, okay, Natalie is responsible for US. She needs to make every quarter 10 visits to 10 states with about 5 customers. So at the end of the day, I should log like 50 visit reports in CRM. And that's how it basically works. So what we see is that analytics has big potential also combining data from outside world, not only within the Zoho system. And you can also create your own tables to figure out goals. So a visit goal is not achievable in the CRM system, but in the analytics, it's quite easy. So you just log your visits in CRM and then you create your target table within Zoho Analytics and get the combined information. So this is how we basically cater larger customers in the European area. So this is my little presentation.